So this session is a reactivity assessment session. It's with a Belgian Malinois or Malinois Cross, they think. It's a rescue dog from a long time ago. Not very social, has been reactive to some dogs, not all dogs. The owners have trouble reading it, having trouble handling the dog. So we're going to go through our process of assessing it, putting it through the fence, on a lead, meeting dogs, and then after the learning phase, we're going to do what I usually do is real world proof the dog. So test what we've learned in a real world situation out here, walking past dogs, and let the owner leave this session having the skills and confidence how to confront, not avoid, not run away, but how to confront these issues and teach the dog what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. Hope you enjoy. With all reactivity sessions I do with dogs, I have a process that I run through that firstly keeps everybody safe, dogs and the owners and myself. This is very important when you're assessing a dog's reactivity. Priority is safety. So what we do here, I start with a fence introduction with the dogs. Gives me a chance to chat to the owners, but also lets dogs get to see each other, smell each other, and I get to see if there's any triggers or anything that comes out with dogs meeting through the fence. But as you can see, there's quite a relaxed sort of body language here between both these dogs. A young dog I have, the Shepherd, is very keen to meet, but the Malinois is quite relaxed laying down. Now, this dog was brought to me with some reactivity in the past. The owner said when she walks the dog around, been quite reactive, and wanted to learn how to deal with that, how to read the dog. So what we start with here is a process, what I like to teach all owners is to assess whether your dog's interested in another dog. Then you see the body language in both these dogs. It's quite relaxed. What I'm doing here is holding the dog I have and allowing the Malinois to meet if it wants to meet. So from the very start, it's about giving your dog a choice. You should never force two dogs together. Often owners are like, but I want my dog to play and I want them to meet. You can't force this to happen. So if you do it that way, what I did there, you're allowing the dog to meet in their own terms, and we're trying to see whether the dog wants heavy eye contact or is prepared to meet as dogs do, scenting and checking the dog out in its own terms. The second step here is walking around just to see again there's any triggers of reactivity through protection or fear. But you can see here we don't get any. This dog was brought to me with, and it had done this in the past, so the owner was quite surprised to not see any reactivity. But what she's learning very, very quickly, like I tell everybody, is when you are relaxed, when you are confident, when you lead your dog the right way, this can go a long way to getting less reactivity. You can see here walking around in front, even though the dog's in a sit, you would think looks a bit uncomfortable. There's been no lunging, no protectiveness, nothing like that at all. Obviously, this video is edited, so I've cut out some bits just to cut the boring bits out for you guys, but really just this process keeps getting repeated, and we, over time, walk the dogs around a lot more, bring them closer together. It's actually off lead here. The owners dropped the lead. I felt very confident. By giving your dog a choice, often you get less reactivity. When you have a short, tight lead, this gets feedback to your dog that you are maybe anxious, you maybe want protection, you maybe don't know what you're doing. There's lots of feedback through that lead that may lead your dog to react when it wouldn't normally react. You must let your dog know that you are confident and you are under control of the situation and you don't need protecting. This second dog here is a Staffy Cross, and we do the same meeting process. I know this dog. I've known it for months now. It comes here to our daycare a lot. Has never attacked a dog. A little bit anxious, a little bit uncomfortable. And you see me hold their head away there. I'm never complacent. Number one rule when it comes to dogs, and especially reactivity, is never be complacent. You're not always going to get growls and snarls before a dog attacks. Often there's no no signs, and you may not read it, and you get a quick reaction. So you have to be very careful. Don't ever be complacent. But the primary thing we're looking for here with this second dog, being a little bit different personality to the young Shepherd that come out, is do we get any more reaction out of the Malinois? And we don't. There's a lot of disinterest, which I mean by, you can see she's got her back to the other dog, not really caring. And again, the owner's quite surprised because in the past she's had a lot of reactivity. She's telling me there that walking around dogs, often she gets it. So again, being very surprised, but the feedback is she's allowing her dog to make more choices instead of holding that short lead, which often reactivity can be misread. It comes from a lot of places. It can come from frustration, it can come from fear, and it can come from outright straight aggression towards other dogs. But often why the reactivity is happening can be misread, or what sort of reactivity is. I like the fact that the dog's sitting there looking straight up at the owner, not really caring about the dog I have, which is great. But what I was saying there is, if you misread it, you may think your dog's being aggressive when it's really scared, or you may think it's scared when it may be protecting you. Sometimes it can be misread. And often a lot of reactivity comes from frustration. Frustration can be displayed in a very seemingly aggressive way when it really isn't. Your dog may just be wanting to meet other dogs. But that's what these sessions are all about. Teaching owners how to understand their dog, how to have confidence in the lead, where you can hold the lead with safety but not seem anxious to the dog that you're walking. So again, giving that feedback that you're under control. So here in the second stage of the session, we're working to outside. Now, the owner said to me she also wanted to work on her lead handling skills and walking the dog on a loose lead or a heel command. So what we start with here is just talking about, again, feedback with the lead. A loose lead is direct feedback to your dog that the correct thing is happening. If you want your dog in the right position and it's walking in the right position, which I'm about to show here, but you have a short, tight lead, this is very confusing to your dog. So you have to make it very clear. And you can see here, I'm just doing some quick about turns, a little bit of tidy up on the walk, a little bit of what I call sort of like a recalibration of walking, just teaching that the feedback is when you are beside me, when the lead is loose, everything is great. You get praise, you get food, you get pats, everything is good. And the clearer you make this to your dog, the quicker you'll get your dog walking by your side. Remember what I'm saying. If your dog is walking in the correct position, but you are still turning and correcting them, it is very hard for them to understand what you want. You have to make it very clear to your dog when they are right and when they are wrong. What I'm doing here is some left turns. Left turns are great to get a dog to drop back. If you have a dog walking in front of you a lot, a left about turn or just a 90-degree left turn can be a really good way just to catch your dog out. Not cueing your dog, not verbally saying anything, just doing a quick turn into your dog. This is going to create better engagement because your dog's going to learn it has to be more aware of where you're going. If you just walk in one straight, slow line, it is really very boring to your dog, and it's not going to have a reason to pay attention to you. So when you walk, what you want to learn to do is a lot of stops and starts, left turns, right turns. And here I've just got the owner again walking and just working on that loose lead. And you can see she's doing a good job there, getting better at it, just trying to get that sharpness with that correction. It is not about harsh treatment and hard correcting dogs. I see so many videos on YouTube that are very hard to watch of trainers that are going straight to e-collars for a dog that is very easily trained and does not need it. And it's very common and it's very frustrating because there's very few dogs that need an e-collar to learn how to walk. It is, in my opinion, quite a lazy way to train a dog when it doesn't need it at all. And there's certainly lighter options. It may be an option down the road if you need it, but really the first step should be just learn how to handle the dog and give good feedback through the lead with your left and right turns and changing your pace. This is my young dog, Nash, now. Just getting him to walk around. And again, seeing any triggers, but we're very comfortable. As you can see, there's no reactivity, so you may be thinking, why is this session labelled a reactivity session? Well, this dog is reactive, but we're not getting it because, like I've said, the owners are learning very quickly how to handle a dog, so the reactivity is dropping very, very fast. And she's learned a lot out of the session. It's about exposing your dog. You don't want to have the knee-jerk reaction of my dog barks and we run away from dogs. You want to teach your dog that if you bark, there's a consequence. If you're aggressive, there's a consequence. Despite what a lot of training methods like to lead you to believe that you can treat all these things with food, I'm here to tell you that it's very difficult to correct a reactive dog with food to the point of nearly impossible. You may work through a threshold, but it's not going to work in the long term using food. And you can see I've got my dog off lead here, which I like to do with dogs. I know my dog, and what I know about him is he won't go near a dog that gives off a vibe that he's uncomfortable with. So what this is great feedback to an owner that if this dog is prepared to come near your dog, this is a treatable problem, because the best judges of character are other dogs, not humans. Another confident, happy dog will give you the feedback whether your dog is giving off a vibe that is something that a dog doesn't like. So this is what you're looking for. You're looking for my dog or any dog to be interested in meeting your dog. And if you learn to read other people's dogs and the vibe they give back, you're going to know what vibe your dog's giving off. The owner's walking really nice there with some heeling and some left turns. Much better on the lead now. Nice loose lead. Just walking confident, head up, shoulders back. Just getting the feedback through the lead. This is Luna that was inside, the little bit reactive. Staffy has been reactive in the past. I trained her, and now she can come to daycare and she does great. She's never attacked a dog, but she just gets uncomfortable. So it's nice to see a reactive dog around multiple personalities, because you want to see what triggers you have. There's no point putting a reactive dog around completely friendly dogs that don't give any uncomfortable vibes, because we're not going to see the problem that we have to fix. So we actually want to see the problem to correct the problem. No point, putting a Band-Aid over it or hiding it and not seeing it and just pretending it's all great. We need to see the issue, but this is quite relaxed. Even Luna's a lot better here. Inside earlier, I gave a couple of little corrections to her to teach her to just calm down a little bit. And this last dog we have is a young lab, Elsa. Now I'm using her because she's a very, very, very energetic young puppy, completely non-threatening, but can be annoying to dogs. So I'm using her for that reason, because she may trigger the dog. Great walk in there, nice turns, much more confident. I'm so pleased to see this. She's come a long way in this session as an owner, and it's really good. She's leaving so much more confident during one session after this, and realising that a lot of the reactivity is being caused by her lack of confidence. And that's what everybody needs to learn. If you are a confident handler and you know how to walk your dog, and you walk with your head up, your shoulders back, and you give the feedback through the lead that things are right and your dog is in the right position, they are going to understand that. You need to remember this as owners. It is vital. This is the key to understanding and getting good dog handling happening, and getting your dog understanding what you want, you being confident. So find someone you can do this with. Find someone you can learn how to expose your dog to dogs, and go through this process of how to meet through a fence, then bring together, let them greet, let them scent, and build up. And in the end, you can see a dog here that is reactive, is clearly wanting to know this young dog and be friends with it. And this can be dealt with a lot. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it and got a lot out of this video. So there we have it. That was a really cool session. We didn't get high-level reactivity, which is a great thing. The owner was actually very, very surprised, you saw in the video, that we didn't get it. But a lot of that comes back to your handling confidence. Dogs are very responsive to who's anxious, who's confident, who's a good handler, who's not. And they pick up on this, and they can feel a need to protect or be more reactive if you are one of those people. So if you are a good handler, you can give that feedback through your lead to your dog that you know what you're doing, you're comfortable, you're confident, and you can get a lot less reactivity, as we saw in that session. This doesn't mean that she's not going to go and get other reactivity, but now, as an owner, has the skills how to confront it, how to deal with it, and approach the walks as more along the lines of training walks instead of just walks. And instead of avoiding issues, going towards a problem that is normally a problem and dealing with it. Everything is a teachable moment. Remember this in dog training. Don't avoid it. Try to have a plan and a process of how to confront it, expose your dog, and fix it. As usual, guys, I hope you really enjoyed the video. Do me a solid favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the little like button, and I'll keep bringing you more content. Thanks again. Bye.